You know that rush when you discover a new hobby? The idea's alive, the energy's high, and everything feels possible. You're deep dive researching, spending a fortune on all the gear, and imagining who it is that you're about to become. And then, out of nowhere, the motivation fades. Suddenly, a brand new hobby sounds way more exciting than the one you've just invested your time, energy, and let's be honest, your money into. The old hobby gets boxed up, a half-finished project gathers dust on the shelf, and you're left staring at what looks like a graveyard of abandoned interests. If that sounds familiar, you're not inconsistent. You're responding to a pattern that actually makes sense once you understand it. So, let's begin. Humans, welcome to AuDHD Bites. Let's get our teeth sunk in, shall we? For many of us, starting a new hobby feels safe. This is because starting a new hobby feels full of possibility and not pressure. ADHD thrives on excitement. New hobbies deliver a surge of dopamine through discovery, progress, and imagination. But as soon as things slow down, get repetitive, or require sustained effort, that stimulation drops off sharply. Autism brings a need for predictability and internal safety. As you get deeper into a hobby, the stakes can start to feel higher. There's skill progression, comparison, expectations, and the possibility of getting it wrong. When you combine the experience of ADHD and autism together, your system learns something powerful. Starting feels energizing and safe, but continuing can start to feel effortful, uncertain, or even exposing. Neurotypical people might see us bounce from hobby to hobby, leaving a trail of half-finished tasks and abandoned interests strewn behind us, and they might come to the conclusion that we're indecisive, unmotivated, or not very committed to our goals. But we know that the villain here is not a lack of commitment. It's a nervous system calculating risk management and moving us back towards what feels engaging and manageable. So, when we shift our interests, it's not a lack of commitment, it's a pattern of seeking safety through novelty, which in itself isn't a problem. What is a problem, though, is that the rapid move from one hobby to another can leave us with the feeling of failure. But stop, wait, bad feelings on AuDHD Bites? No way, never. So, you know what we gotta do. Let's reframe it. Your impulse to move on from hobbies is not failure. It's your creativity trying to stay regulated. You're drawn to new interests because they offer possibility without pressure. The goal isn't to force yourself to just stick at something. The goal is to make staying feel as safe and rewarding as starting. I know. Easy to say, but not so easy to do, especially if you're undoing a lifetime of learned behaviors that have been cemented in place in order to feel safe. And trust me, if you could see my hobby graveyard, you'd know that I'm right there with you. But let's not stop at comforting words. Grab your shovels, my human friends. We're going into the graveyard and we're gonna do some digging. Because yes, it is strategy time. So, how do we make sticking with a hobby feel as safe as starting a new one? 1. Lower the bar for staying. Instead of aiming to master a hobby, aim to simply return to it. Revisit your old hobbies for just 5 minutes. Do the smallest, simplest version of the hobby. This works because motivation often follows action, and not the other way round. Re-entering a hobby via small steps helps your ADHD brain re-engage with the reward. And for your autism, lowering the size of the task needed to re-engage with your hobby reduces the sense that the hobby is this massive tyrant who demands that you understand every single aspect about it in order to engage. I know that it can feel like that though, but honestly, giving yourself permission to enjoy a hobby, even if you're rubbish at it, and don't spend that much time mastering it, can really make hobbies a lot more inviting to stick with and stay around. 2. Make your hobbies visible. Try keeping your hobby materials in a place where you can actually see them. For example, leave your guitar on a stand instead of in a case, or keep your sketchbook open on a desk. Keeping your hobby materials dotted around your environment provides you with a visual cue that offers you something to look forward to. For example, when my mind wanders and I'm wondering how I might fill my free time later on, seeing my bass guitar in the corner of the room or a box of oil paints displayed on a shelf gives me a little dopamine boost and something to race towards and look forward to once all the tasks of the day are complete. Visually seeing something that you're looking forward to reinforces motivation and makes it easier to re-engage. 3. Make it play and not performance. This is my favorite one. Hobbies don't have to feel like work. This can sound a bit childish, but I've started to think of my hobbies as a sort of playtime, and I honestly think there's a lot of freedom in that. Shifting your mindset from mastery to play reduces pressure, making it easier for your brain to stay engaged without triggering avoidance. When something feels like play, your brain is more willing to stay with it. This is because focus shifts from outcome to experience, and it's that shift from experience to novelty seeking that your brain was needing all along. Boom! We have nailed it. So, my human friends, you're not addicted to abandoning hobbies. You're wired to chase the possibility of new experiences, and there's nothing wrong with that. And learning to stay is just learning a new kind of experience. Stop here for a second though. There's one caveat to this whole episode that I really want you to hear, because it is an important one. Every hobby that you've ever started and not felt able to commit to has not been a waste of time. We really do not deserve the beating we give ourselves over this topic. That hobby graveyard we were looking at earlier on, it's not actually a place of horror. It's actually a place that has a lot of value. Even if you do end up putting that shovel down and leaving your hobby graveyard to rest in peace, it's very important to remember that from the compost of yesterday's efforts grows the skills and experience needed for the challenges of today. Boo-hoo-hoom! 3 AM after party depth of thought for you right there, folks. This has been AuDHD Bites, Goth brain guidance for ADHD, autism, and AuDHD. And I have been your host, CB Graves. If this episode has been useful, click like, subscribe, and drop a bat emoji in the comment section so that I know who I'm talking to. And as always, thank you so much for watching and supporting my neurodivergent-led effort. Until next time, bye humans!